What's up, people? The two players with the lowest rated in the tournament of Uzbekistan ended in the first position tied, Madaminov and Bokidov. So after the 9th round, they play a tiebreaks. There are 2 games of blitz. So let's analyze the first one. Madaminov opened with e4. After c5, he goes for the... Okay, first he played knight f3, but after e6, he goes for the Alapin system. Good for a rapid game, of course. Knight f6, e5, knight d5, d4. Pawn takes d6. Black's making the normal moves. Both are making normal development. Everything is going well till here. Here Madaminov play rook e1 because it's not my favorite move. Because after a future d takes e5, d takes e5, this rook is going to be maybe a little bit misplaced here. This could be better on d1. For that reason, I prefer the move knight c3 or queen e4, trying to play maybe bishop d3 and attack there. By the way, rook e1 is playable, but I just prefer knight c3. And here, okay, Bokidov played b5. He can take on e5 first and later play b5. Because for example here, if bishop d3 now, knight d7 is coming and knight c5 later, and this bishop have problem. And like I said, the rook is not good place. On e1 is closing. Yes, it's closing. The d5 is closed, so the rook here have not so much sense. Bishop takes e5 could be a good alternative. And okay, or knight d2, trying to go to b3. Okay, why give the bishop pair, but maybe he can later trade the dark square bishop and try to play in the dark squares, and why have good development who compensates the bishop pair. Or bishop b3 could be another option, but here black is completely fine, and he have this to open fight for his rooks. This square, this pawn could be weak in the future. This bishop is very good, so black have no problems. With the pawn on e5, you sometimes should take care of the king, but I don't see why can attack the black king. Okay, b5 played by Bokidov, and here Madaminov should have take just on d5 and play knight c3. Doesn't matter the bishop pair, because like I said, white have just 4 pieces developed and black just have 1. So this could compensate the bishop pair. Instead of that, he goes back to d3, knight d7, queen e4, f5, and here Madaminov made an important mistake returning to e2. Here the only move is pawn takes e5, opening the e5 for the rook and for the queen, and the e5 square for the knight. But especially opening and opening this diagonal for the bishop and for the queen. This is the perfect move, because with queen e2 now the queen is close. With this pawn, this rook is close. This bishop is close. This knight is close. So the move queen e2 have no sense. It's just better to play e takes f6, opening the pieces. Knight takes f6, queen e2, knight d4, knight c3, knight takes, knight takes, queen takes, sorry, and normal position. Okay, black have the bishop pair, but white have more space and more development. But queen e2 was a huge mistake by Madaminov, closing all his pieces. Because after pawn takes, now black is completely fine. Now black is going to activate his pieces here, bishop b7, rook here, the queen comes here, and white have no active plan. And the pawn on f5 is great here, closing all the diagonal. So Bokidov played bishop b7. Bishop knight b4 or knight c5 are slightly better, just trying to go forward for the bishop. By the way, bishop b7 was fine, knight c3, knight c5. They trade a pair of knights, and Madaminov returned with the bishop. Bishop c4, queen e3, and here Bokidov had a great position for the first blitz game. Especially, it's very easy to play. You can just play rook queen b6 or rook c8, and black have good chances to win, and I don't see what I can do here to create problem for black. So I think that black is completely pleasant. This pawn is very bad, closing all the white pieces and giving this square for black, and this pawn could be weak in the future, the e4 square for the knight. The rook is in the open file. Black have more space with this pawn, the pieces, so black here is completely fine. Instead of that, Bokidov gets completely crazy. I don't know if he calculates bad or if he evaluates bad something, but he played knight d3, which is a huge mistake, because after rook d1, here white is just completely winning. Bokidov's idea was bishop c5, but just rook d3. Maybe he missed this move, or I don't know. But after all the trades, they reach a position where white have a knight and a bishop against a rook and a pawn. Okay, the rook and a pawn in the endgame used to be better than in the middle games, but just in this position, no, because the huge black problem is that white have all the control of the dark squares, because he have the bishop on a light square and all the pawns in light squares. So this bishop is going to be unstoppable because black have no way to defend the dark squares. Added to that, the black extra pawn is not mobile. Now he have the pawn on f5, who is not making nothing. So here Madaminov, without make a good game, he just reached a completely winning position thanks to a mistake of Bokidov. So the rest was more or less easy for Madaminov. The rook c8 just before, and he just added to that Bokidov blunder the a pawn. So the rest was so easy. And he takes the piece, and okay, easy win for Madaminov in the endgame. He takes the first victory in the tiebreaks. So in the second one, he just needs a draw. I'm going to record the video right now, so see the video to see how ends the tournament in Uzbekistan. Bye bye.